Hi, I'd like to read to you one of the contributor stories from part two of my new book, Mediumship, Sacred Communications with Loved Ones from Across the Veil. I hope you enjoy it. When I got the call that my stepdad had passed away at the assisted living facility, I rushed across town to take care of the necessary details. At 91 years of age, he'd lived an adventurous and honorable life. James Todd, my stepfather, was a Navy pilot in World War II. When they decommissioned pilots at the end of the war, he reenlisted in the Marines to continue flying. His group was known as the Flying Peons. He was twice decorated with the Distinguished Flying Cross, and by the time he retired in 1969, he'd saved the lives of 36 Marines during a fierce battle in Vietnam. He was a tough old bird and did not suffer fools. He and I had a troubled relationship in my youth. It was difficult to have a stepfather, and we often had intense disagreements. However, in the mid 1980s, he gave me my first command: promise me that you'll look out for me during my last days. I felt it was an order from a tough old Marine to a sometimes rebellious kid. Being his advocate during the most stressful time of his life was not easy. It was particularly hard to order around a Marine who had once ordered around General Westmoreland. Yet he had put his life in my hands, and it became a spiritual privilege and a challenge to help him. As a man of honor and integrity, he always kept his promises. It was my honor to keep my promise to him. Over the year that he was in assisted living, I noticed his heart softening toward me. He developed a lovely humility as he contemplated his life and impending transition. He didn't like it when I had to tell him no regarding issues that might endanger him or were not in his best interest, but he eventually understood that the choices I made for his well-being were made with love. As an old family friend who visited him 2 days before he died said to me, "Wow, your dad was such an SOB, stern, obstinate bloke, but now he's a lamb." When I got the call that he had passed away, I rushed across town to take care of the necessary details. After his body was removed from the facility, I walked outside and immediately felt an intense rush of powerful and loving energy surround me, and then a heartfelt thank you bear hug. As I looked toward the Catalina Mountains north of Tucson, Arizona, I could see his spirit fly a maneuver, a flyby in front of the mountains. Then he sped away, free from the encumbrance of his body, disappearing at lightning speed. Driving home, I turned on my radio, and it immediately played Natalie Merchant's song, Kind and Generous. It struck me that this was his way of thanking me for caring for him. Later that night, I listened to a classical music playlist on my phone that my son had recommended a few months prior. Something was compelling about the piece that the cellist was playing, and I felt prompted to pay closer attention and to look at the playlist. The song was titled Esperance. My last name is Esparza, and Esperance in French is hope. I burst into happy tears when I saw that the musician's name was James Todd. There it was, my stepfather's name, as the musician playing a lovely song of hope, letting me know that he was alive and near. Contributed and written by Melinda Esparza. Wow, that gave me goosebumps just reading it again. And I hope that you will enjoy picking up this book again and again to read the contributor stories as well as the informational material in part one about mediumship and all it has to give to you, and part three about tools that you can use to enjoy your own after-death communications with loved ones and perhaps making conscious connections with those who have passed.